Warning, the stunts in this footage were performed by professional lunatics, so unless you're a friggin' madman, neither you nor your dumb buddies should attempt anything from this video. Guns akimbo, wielding two weapons of the same type, most common with handguns and submachine guns. Shotguns akimbo is an act of madness and should be listed as a crime against humanity.
Need medicine. I don't give a fuck what they selling, let them sell it, no. And I know I'm a piece of shit, should have learned by now. Peace needed quick or a piece of it. In school they are teaching it. Each of us try to find release, but it seems a bit slow. First they incite the violence.
I'm not sure I can put this build down. It hits so freaking hard, it doesn't matter how or who you're running it with, solo or group. I'm using it to solo legendary and heroic content, as well as group play. The build is pretty easy to put together, so let's get that out of the way. This is an off-meta double shotgun build. Most agents are sleeping on both of these shotguns, but after this video, I hope to change that. On one hand, we have the M870, which is the highest base damage shotgun in the game. The Super 90 used to be my favorite, and I still like it. Then I started using the Tsunami, but this thing is a beast and it trumps all. In my opinion, it's way better than the Scorpio for running and gunning, especially if you're into power. You can pretty much one-tap most enemies, and bosses go down in 3 to 5 rounds pretty easily. Be sure to have damage to targets out of cover and pummel. Pummel refills your mag every 3 kills and gives you 40% weapon damage. Killer is a great option too, but avoiding that nasty reload when standing in front of big parties is a very nice thing. Sometimes a group can be too large and contain too many tanky enemies. That's when I switch over to the other hand and bring down the house with the rock and roll named shotgun. This beast has a 300 RPM with perfectly extra for 50% larger magazine capacity. Make sure you have damage to targets out of cover on it too. It only has 2 mod slots and you will need to put crit chance on those. The mask is Hunter's Fury with max crits. We're running 4-piece Hunter's Fury and using every bit of its strength. I tried other ways, but this is the most efficient way to get the 20% armor on kill and amplified damage, which is an amazing 45%. The disorient status effect applied on kill is super important for face tanking massive spawn points. This is what buys you time to reload or switch weapons. That is what's going to save your butt most of the time. The gloves and knee pads are basically the same. You want to run max crit chance because each pellet has a chance to crit, and that adds up in your favor. I chose to run the Hunter's Fury chest piece because the talent increases the duration of the Apex Predator amplified stacks from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. You can also run Intimidate, Obliterate, or Glass Cannon here. If you do, you will need to run it on a ceska chest piece. Keep that in mind. The holster is ceska with max crits and a rolled-on armor. The backpack is Memento, and I think this is the best way to go because it pushes our armor over 1.1 million without losing a red weapon damage core. Those trophies provide a boost of power that stacks underneath the amplified damage from Hunter's Fury, which is a very powerful thing, and the bonus armor saves my butt too. Once you have full stacks, you're getting 3% armor regen on top of the 20% armor on kill and bonus armor. You're also getting a stronger shield. I tried Adrenaline Rush, Bloodsucker, and Unstoppable, but Memento gives you the power and the defense, so it's just better. I set this up to run Firewall because the shield is going to give you at least 5% bonus weapon damage per enemy in front of you. As you can see from the gameplay, we're taking on hordes of enemies. I can't tell you how much that adds up to. But don't rely on your shield. I mean, once your backpack is fully stacked, your 3-tier shield is way stronger, but this is not a shield build. I'm really just using the shield for the added weapon damage. Otherwise, I'm staying alive because I'm moving fast. I repeat, don't let the shield slow you down. Pop it in and out as you go. I'm using the heck out of the decoy for this build too. It allows you to flank, spawn kill, and encroach on the enemy without taking too much damage. It's better than the deflector drone or healer drone and the shield in fact. And keep in mind, you don't need heals since you have armor on kill and armor regen. The decoy is a must-have, especially when working wide open areas such as control points where enemies tend to tag you from 400 meters away. Hey, be sure to join my Discord if you haven't, and I'd appreciate the like, comment, and a subscribe if you like what I'm putting down. I got lots more where this came from. Here are the stats. Both shotguns are pretty much the same. I'm over 50% crit chance, over 100% crit damage, which is high for a shotgun and all you need, since we're working with massive base weapon damage. The rock and roll has a much lower base weapon damage, but the high RPM, extra magazine size, and fast reload make up for that. The mechanics of this build are very simple. I start with the M870 and rely on it most of the time. The trick is to not overshoot it. Pace your shot cadence with the recoil. Otherwise, a lot of your pellets will miss your target, even if they're right in front of you. Once you get the hang of it, go for those headshots, especially for elites. It takes them down much faster this way. When facing a group, start with non-elites, disrupt the crowd, and work your way up the command chain. If the moment calls, switch over to the rock and roll and hammer the shit out of whoever's left standing. If you're wondering how to get the rock and roll named variant, it's a Dark Zone exclusive, but don't fret. This video shows you how to get any exclusive Dark Zone gear without stepping 1 foot in the DZ, ever. I'm putting links in the description area so you can check it out later. Although the build is pretty straightforward, the setup is in perfect synergy for the playstyle. If you're a relaxed player and attack from Helm's Deep, then this isn't going to work for you. This is an edge of your seat flank and face tank build, which is a high risk and high reward build. Once you get the hang of things, you will clear content fast as fast can be. Try to make your way to the spawn point as quickly as possible at the beginning of the engagement, then hang around the door and catch them as they try to slip out. This prevents them from spreading out all over the place, which is a pain for a shotgun build because then you have to spend a lot of time out of cover chasing them down. which then they can nick away at your armor from afar. So in my opinion, it's actually more risky to not spawn kill with the shotgun build if you think about it that way. These shotties would actually go really well with the amped build I put up recently. That build hits so hard, it's insane. You'd have to make a tough choice between the shotguns, but I think the fun factor would make it worth it. Links right here and in the description area below. You need to get within 10 meters of the enemy to make the most out of the spray patterns. It's pretty tight and you want to land all of your pellets. Be careful of exploding weak points though. That is a factor. Most of the time when I went down, it's because I blew up a dude's grenade satchel or something and it backfired on me. So avoid that. Remember, you're not immortal. This is a kill or be killed build. And like I always say, speed is where most of your survivability comes from. Just don't try to shoot the M870 too fast. Again, go with the gun's natural rhythm. Now, the rock and roll on the other hand has such a high RPM, I find it hard to maximize. When flipping to that gun, I try to pull the trigger as fast as my little finger can go, and still, I don't think I reached the peak RPM, but I can tell the difference when I'm trying to versus when I'm not. Faster is better for that shotgun. And just like the M870, try to stay within 10 meters or so. The Capitol Building Legendary Stronghold is super boring to play, but I revealed 2 game-changing secrets that make it faster, easier, and way more fun to clear. Check out that video next. Tuxedo out.
On everything. Follow me.